First, a new film about the master of suspense.
You certainly wanted us to look at faces and desire, didn't you? Your movies had a force field.
Yes. In Vertigo, I wanted you to feel the force. I wanted Kim to hypnotize you. But I also wanted you to run away. Escapism, like Carey in a field of corn.
Yes, Mr. Hitchcock, it's working.
The new documentary, My Name is Alfred Hitchcock, covers the filmmaker's 50-year career, including his greatest films, like Rear Window, Strangers on a Train, North by Northwest, so many to list.
Director Mark Cousins presents the film as though Hitchcock himself returned from the dead to sit down and discuss his work at length. Mark joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be on your show.
So those are not old interviews with Hitchcock or AI. You found an actor to do that. Why did you make that choice?
Well, I just believe in the power of the actor's voice. This is a great actor who's well known in the UK called Alistair McGowan, and we asked him to do it. And then he called me and spoke with Hitchcock's voice, that very famous Hitchcock voice. And I thought, wow, he can humanize Hitchcock. He can be funny like Hitchcock, etc.
What do people not, I mean, he has such an expansive career. He's iconic. The name Hitchcock is iconic. You list his greatest movies, his not so great ones, and they're really, some of them might fall in different categories than people think. You're not a huge fan of The Birds.
Yeah, well, The Birds isn't his best, but when you think about it, he made 53 films. At least half of them are masterpieces.
Yeah.
It's incredible. What a hit rate. I mean, he just understood cinema. You know, he really was brilliant at imagining cinema, what we love about it, what it excites us, how it scares us, etc. You know, as you know, apart from Charlie Chaplin, he was probably the most famous filmmaker of the 20th century.
We think of horror and suspense, but is there some other deep theme that he is pushing for through his movies?
I think so. You know, we think of him as a sort of manipulator of our emotions. And of course, we love that. But actually, when you look, I watched all his films in order again. And when you look, there are themes of fulfillment, of loneliness, some of the more human qualities that we all feel, I think Hitchcock felt as well. So even in the 21st century, you know, you can see a new humanity in Hitchcock, I think.
So do people that still use his techniques today, is it more about his camera work or is it more about his storylines? What is it that was so iconic about what he did?
I think both in a way. You know, he was brilliant at point of view. You know, he often in a Hitchcock, there's a camera shot that's moving forward, whether it's famously going up the stairs in Psycho, etc. And he really understood how to put us, the audience, in the middle of the film, in the emotion of the film. And so that's the point of view was the key thing for Hitchcock, I think.
Yeah, at the time that probably, I mean, now it doesn't look like a big deal, but at the time that was probably an innovation. You say that Vertigo, Psycho, we should really take a look at Saboteur. Why is that?
I think Saboteur, Hitchcock obviously is English. He went to America and he made some American pictures. And then he made this film, Saboteur, in 1942. And it's his love letter to the US. You know, it's a road movie. He takes his camera around the US, shows the expanse of the Midwest, etc. And you can feel him falling in love with the landscapes and the ideas of America. So I think it's one of his underrated pictures and his most American picture.
You talk about these short advertising films that he did. Were these like promotions for his movies? You say it was almost like TikTok before its time. Talk about that.
Exactly. You know, he had a great sense of humor, you know, and that's what we love about him. You know, just when we're really scared, he'll add a joke. He made these short films, which were all playful trailers for his movies, but very much TikTok. And when I thought, you know, when I thought to myself, let's revive Hitchcock for the 21st century, I thought the era of TikTok, Hitchcock would have been fantastic at TikTok. It would have had hundreds of millions of followers.
Wow. Mark, who would Hitchcock be drawn to in terms of a director today?
so many people, follow Hitchcock. They try to do it as good. A few years ago, there was a Korean film that won an Oscar. It was called Parasite. You might
Oh,
remember
yeah.
it. It was so Hitchcockian. I mean, so Hitchcockian. And like he will never date, I think, because he always dealing with the big subjects in life, desire and fear. And I think that he would really, because he was an innovator, he would love, there's a filmmaker, Sean Baker, who made a film Tangerine with a mobile phone. And Hitchcock, I think, would have been making films with mobile phones. He always wanted to be ahead of the curve.
Interesting. Well, the film is My Name is Alfred Hitchcock. You can get more information at Cohen Media Group, and you can follow Mark on X. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Time now for Around Town.
Hey, Anna.